In today's video, we're going to talk about how to pronounce these two sounds in English. Now you will hear these two sounds pronounced in different ways depending on the accent. I'm just going to show you the way that I hear most commonly used in the UK, specifically England, and the way that I use myself. Please remember that there's no correct or incorrect way, there is just the way that helps you be understood, and so long as you're understood, that's all that matters. So let's start with the first sound, this one here. Okay, so what a lot of learners will do is they will pronounce it as a dental sound. So they will pronounce it something like th, 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 th. So what they will do is they will pronounce it with the tongue touching here, behind the teeth, and they will also pronounce it where it's quite hard actually, like your tongue is really pressing. So it's like tu, tu, tu. Well, actually, in English is a little bit different, or at least the way that I'm going to teach you in this video. So let's start with the top of the mouth. What should we do? Where should we put our tongue? Okay, so at the top of our mouth, many people will pronounce this t as a dental sound. So it's like th, 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 and it's just touching here, behind the top teeth. But instead, we're going to pronounce it just a little bit further back in the mouth. What you'll feel, and what I want you to do with your tongue, this is a little exercise, is just feel with your tongue, okay? You can feel your teeth, right? Now, move your tongue back, and you'll start to feel that your mouth starts to go up at the top here. As it goes up, you will feel some kind of lines there. This is basically your alveolar ridge. You may not have noticed it before, but it's always been there, and it helps you produce certain sounds. So what you need to do is put your tongue, imagine this is your tongue, between your teeth, okay? And that part that goes up, okay? So you're not going to put it on the part that starts to go up on those bumps, on those ridges, okay? Don't put it on the bumps and ridges. It goes between the bumps and ridges and the teeth. So it's around here. This is a terrible demonstration. I will put a picture up. Hopefully my editor will do that. And you just touch there. Now with your tongue, instead of using the tip of your tongue, I'd like you to use the blade of your tongue. Now the blade is just a little bit further up, okay? If we imagine, well, not imagine, it is the case. This part here is the tip, here, that's the tip of your tongue, and the blade of your tongue is here, just a little bit further up. So you're going to take the blade of your tongue, okay? So not the tip, the little part here, here, and you're going to raise that up so it's in between the alveolar ridge and the front teeth. I was going to say the back teeth. That would have been really hard, wouldn't it? Between the alveolar ridge and the front teeth. T, t, t. Now, you're probably doing something like t, t, t. But Emma, okay, that part of my tongue is touching. I'm following exactly what you're doing. But what now? It still sounds different to what you're doing. Now, we need to create a kind of block, like a kind of seal, with the sides of our tongue, okay? This t sound is a plosive. Technical term, don't get scared, but it's basically when you push air out. In simple terms, it's when you push the air out in order to create the sound. So like p, t, k, and so on. All of these require a kind of stop and then p, a release of air, and t is one of them. So what we need to do to prepare for that explosion of air is we need to create a block. We're going to do that with our tongue, but we're still going to keep our tongue in that position where the blade is still touching the top, okay? So you're creating a block, so no air is going past, and then you release. T, t, t. There should be air, like a big puff of air coming out. Make sure, if it helps, let me grab some paper actually. I'm going to steal my video notes. Take some paper, okay? And you're going to try and blow it. T, 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 t. So make sure that you're pushing out enough air. And don't worry, my private students a lot of the time are like, but what if I run out of breath? You won't run out of breath. You're okay, right? When you're talking, you won't be pushing out as much air as this. We're just practicing for this demonstration, okay? But try and blow the paper. T, t, t. If we do it with the dental sound that we were doing before, where it's quite hard, like you're pushing on your teeth quite a bit and doing like do, 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 do. It's not doing anything, but two, 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 two. You see, it's moving the paper, okay? And that's what you need to try and do. So let's practice with some words. Two, two. So not tu. You can pronounce it that way if you like. You will be understood, but that's not the target sound I'm going for in this video. Tu, tu. Careful, you're not touching here. Remember, it's further back. Two, two. Another word is team, team. Mat, mat. And in the middle of words, better, better. Now I do want to talk about this word in a bit more detail in a moment. I'm going to jump to the d sound now and talk about that, but stay tuned because I want to talk about this one a little bit more. Because you might have heard some people pronouncing it a different way depending on their accent, and I want to talk about that. Now the next sound, the d sound. Now a lot of teachers, no shade to them, but they basically sometimes say, okay, so now you got the t, you just need to do it voiced, and it's a d. Voiced means that there's vibration here, so there's no vibration, but you can feel here, okay, it's buzzing, it's vibrating. That means it's a voiced sound. So d is voiced. And what many people will say is, well, if you can do the t sound, just add some voice and then you get a d. But if I did that, it would sound like d, d. And that sounds more like a z than a d. That's not quite the same. So let me show you how I and many other people do the d sound. Now with the t sound, remember that we use the blade of our tongue. So not the tip here. We use the blade here, a little bit higher up. With the d, I tend to find that many speakers in England, including myself, use the tip of their tongue instead. So instead of saying something like t, 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 with the voice and the vibration, it's more like d, d, d. So they're using the tip that comes up to the exact same position as the t at the top of the mouth. So remember, the front teeth, not do, do, do. A little bit further back, do, do, do. Don't go too far back and do, 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 do. There's a completely different sound and we don't use that. So forget that one. Bring it forward if it sounds strange. D. It should be between the alveolar ridge, that part goes up with the ridges, and your front teeth. Now for some words. Do. Do. Remember, not do, do, do. Further back. Do. Dog. 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 The. Bit further back. Remember? Dog. Dog. The next one, a little bit trickier. Did. Did. D. Did. And the last one, ladder. 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 Not lather, the. Ladder. Bit further back. Keep that in mind. Now, if you remember back when we were talking about the t sound, I mentioned the word better and I said, hold tight people, I want to talk about this in more detail. Well, this is that part of the video where I go in more detail. You may have heard some speakers, depending on where they're from in the world, saying this a little bit differently. So you may hear particularly speakers from Australia and from the US, they may say better, better. Now, of course, they will change the endings there. I'm just focusing on that T in the middle, okay? They say it more like a D. It's not like better, duh, where it's like a hard, very clear duh. It's what's called a tap or flap. So you take your tongue and you very quickly tap the top of your mouth, almost like you're doing a duh, but you do it really quickly. Duh, duh, duh. While the tap is more like ra, ra, ra. It's really, really quick. So better, 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 better. You might also hear some speakers in the UK using something called the Glottal Stop. So instead of saying better or better, they will say better, better. If you want to learn more about this sound and how to pronounce it, I actually have 2 videos all about it. I will link them down in the description for you, so you can check them out after watching this one. Something that's also important to mention before we go on to some sentence practice is that sometimes the T and D at the end of words can be removed. And I've got another video that goes into that in a lot more detail. I don't want to talk about it here because I have a fully dedicated video to it already. Again, that will be down in the description. You can check that out too after you watch this one, or after you watch the Glottal Stop one, or whenever. So now let's practice with some sentences. Let me scooch up, then my editor can get some wonderful sentences here. So the first one, do you want a cup of tea? Do, not do. Do you want, do you want a cup of tea? Do you want a cup of tea? The next sentence, listen and repeat. The vet helped the dog. The vet helped the dog. If you're having problems with that TH in the vet, the dog, I do have a video about that, which you can check out as well later. It'll be linked in the description. The vet helped the dog. If you'd like more help with these sounds, then I do have an online pronunciation course where I go into them in a lot more detail. So if you'd like more information on that, that will also be linked in the description. There are a lot of things linked in the description for this video. It's going to be a big description, but there's more information there, or you can drop me a comment, leave me an email, and I will happily give you some information and help you out with that. If you've enjoyed this video and you've learned something new, then please remember to hit that like button, it definitely helps out. And also, if you're new around here and you haven't subscribed yet, then you can do that by pressing the big red subscribe button down below. You can also hit the bell icon as well to be notified every single time I post a new video or I go live. If you've made it this far in the video, I would like you to leave a comment down below with your favourite food or snack. Let's confuse the people who haven't made it this far in the video. They will probably wonder why so many people are commenting about their favourite food and snacks. So go and comment that, and I will see you next lesson. See you later. Bye bye.